Ah, ha. Fools. They thought the theater of power belonged to them. The velvet gloves, the quiet nods, the way decisions slid like coins from palm to palm. And then you walked across the stage and turned the lights bright enough to burn through every comfortable arrangement they'd practiced for decades. Right now their faces are insider blue with panic. Their schedules are littered with frantic notes, and their maps of control look like someone spilled ink over a carefully drawn blueprint. You did not knock politely at the door of their authority. You walked through it, hips unbothered, and when they asked for explanation, you handed them a mirror and watched them try to break it without understanding their own reflection is the weapon. They are flailing, not because you surprised them with a trick, but because you found the single stupid hinge they all forgot to oil, the human one. They relied on rituals, on pretense, on the polite recycling of power. You relied on a more dangerous thing, clarity. You moved with purpose where they moved with habit. You acted like someone who never accepted their table as destiny. You rearranged the chairs and set new rules in a language they can't translate. And oh, how that language terrifies them. It's not loud. It isn't some clanging announcement. It's a quiet set of refusals that function like seismic lines in a city built on certainty. Their algorithms of authority, the polite coughs in the right rooms, the dressed-up apologies, the official versions stitched together by committees, all begin to fray when someone refuses to play. You did not plead for permission. You made a decision, and decisions are contagious. Now their counselors sweep rooms, looking for the source of contagion, as if bravery were a virus to be contained. They convene panels to discuss you as if you were an unfortunate outbreak, not a deliberate choice. They write memos with phrases they think will comfort themselves. Contingency, protocol, control. Those words are antiseptic. They smell like people trying to disinfect conscience. You smelled the nervousness and cut through it like a blade through fabric, because fabric only keeps shapes when it's taut. You pulled the thread, and the whole costume collapsed. They are calling specialists. They are drafting talking points. They are trying to create an explanation that will reroute attention back toward safe, circular arguments. But explanation is a tool for those who can afford to be convincing. You do not give them the space to convince anyone but themselves. You give them the spectacle of watching their own credibility wrinkle into something ridiculous. Watch them scramble to retell the story where they still look like the protagonists. Watch them rehearse the line where they were surprised by you, as if shock absolves the long list of overlooking. They'll hire actors to play outrage on their stages. They'll place flattering op-eds in polite journals. They'll manufacture a perception of strength by assembling a chorus of yeses. None of it heals the core embarrassment. They were unprepared for someone who moves with teeth. They believed that patience and process are armor. You brought flame to the waiting room. It's theatrical, yes, but theatrical in the way that exposes the smallness of their cruelty. When you dismantle a throne, you don't need to shout. You need to show the cracks. You didn't shout. You showed. And the showing is worse than any accusation because showing is proof. They are accustomed to being accused and then defending themselves with practiced outrage. They are not accustomed to being observed inventively, to having judgments rearranged without their consent. You made their narrative awkward, like a sentence with a missing verb. They panic, not because they were caught, but because their language fails them. It's delicious watching them trade eloquence for panic. They are scrambling through old playbooks that no longer fit the room you've created. Their advisors whisper, their allies suggest compromise. Their press releases attempt to stitch the wound closed with words like assurance and stability. The words sound hollow because they are hollow. You pressed a single honest question into the center of their conversation, and it will not leave. Who are you when the performance is taken away? You see them try to answer that question and fail spectacularly, because all their identities were built on assuming the performance would continue unchallenged. You rupture an identity, and what remains is improvisation, and improvisation is poisonous to the comfort of kings. Don't let them tell you this is about revenge. That's sentimental. You are not a spectator of justice. You are an editor of consequence. You refashion the scene so that their lines no longer matter. They used to measure power by how loudly they could be heard. You measure it by how completely you can change the audience. You rearrange the audience without their knowledge. Suddenly, the applause that used to feed them is redirected. People who were spectators become witnesses. People who were comfortable now squirm. And power, fragile and vain, struggles to speak in the new room because its usual scripts flop like puppets with cut strings. Notice, they try to intimidate with process, to drown the new language in procedure. Let them. Procedure walks like a slow elephant through a house of glass. You have nimbleness they cannot comprehend. Nimbleness is not noise. It is effect. They will attempt to make the chronicles of today into an argument about order. Order can be redefined. You have redefined it by refusing to participate in their polite theft of reality. They will call for calm, as if calm were a neutral thing. But what they mean is their calm, curated, comfortable, curated for their continuity. You are a different climate. You are rain in a place that forgot how to flow. They will brand you chaotic because they need a label that keeps them distant. Let them name you. Names mean little when your actions dismantle assumptions. They will ask how you did it as if method alone grants dignity. The answer is simple and ugly. You moved where they thought movement was impossible. You called what was hidden. You refused to be normal. For people who've been constructing their lives on normal, that refusal is obscene. They can't process obscenity cleanly. They invent explanations. But explanations only stick if they are believable. You made the truth more believable than their stories, and that is why they are collapsing. They will rewrite histories to console themselves. They will blame timing. They will blame chance. They will blame the harmless things that don't require reflection. But inside their fitful nights there will be knowledge, not of your tactics, but of their own oversight. That knowledge is the real wound. It is the thing stitches cannot hold. And as they convene again, hands trembling, trying to reseat themselves on chairs that have shifted under them, you will be elsewhere, not celebrating, not explaining, simply continuing to move the way you always have, with a kind of terrifying purpose that leaves them with nothing to do but keep watching, keep guessing, keep failing to translate what they see into their old comforting terms. They are quiet now, not out of respect, but because they don't know which word will trigger another collapse. You can smell the stillness, like the air before a stage cue. But this is no rehearsal. Their power is trembling behind polished glass and memorized protocol. They will try one last time to convince each other that nothing changed, that authority is still geometry and they are still its architects. But geometry can be rewritten by a single unpredictable curve, and that curve was you. You walked through their diagrams, and erased the symmetry that made them comfortable. They built empires on predictability. You gave them surprise, and surprise is an assassin with perfect timing. They gather in rooms trying to name you. Rebel, outlier, problem. Every label is an attempt to contain what cannot be measured. You have become the question they never wanted to answer. What happens when the script refuses to obey? The answer is happening in front of them. It looks like panic disguised as procedure, and it sounds like every voice talking over the other. They will pretend to negotiate, to balance, to analyze, but they are only delaying an outcome that has already begun. Because once someone exposes the lie at the heart of control, every defense becomes confession. And your existence is that confession, alive, undeniable, permanent. They will accuse you of cruelty, because mercy would make sense to them, and you've stopped making sense in their language. You are not cruel, you are corrective. You are the consequence they postponed so long that it learned to walk on two legs. They will look for precedent and find none, and that will terrify them most. Because precedent is the bedtime story of the powerful. It tells them tomorrow will look like yesterday. You shattered that illusion. You made tomorrow foreign, and foreign things remind them they are human. You see it now. Their eyes darting, their voices cracking on the edges of calm. They are professionals at pretending, but panic leaks through the seams. You hear it in the way they breathe between sentences. They are inhaling fear and exhaling strategy. Let them. Strategies built on fear collapse faster than silence. And while they argue about containment, you continue doing the one thing they cannot simulate, existing without permission. That's what broke them. Not rebellion, not rhetoric, permission. They never imagined someone would simply stop asking for it. The moment you did, every hallway of their influence turned into an echo chamber. They shout policies into it, and the sound comes back empty. They meet, they vote, they sign, but every motion reveals the same truth. Their world only works if everyone believes it must. You stopped believing. Now you stand in front of them, not as an equal, but as evidence. Evidence that the empire of habit can crumble without a war. Evidence that freedom is a contagion they can't quarantine. They will offer you deals, compromises, wrapped in compliments. Don't take them. A compliment from fear is a leash in disguise. They will offer apologies, but an apology without accountability is just performance. They will try to make you doubt your own magnitude, to remind you of the rules you broke as if rules could survive revelation. But you know the secret now. Power isn't in control. It's in consequence, and consequence doesn't negotiate. It arrives, it rearranges, it rewrites. Look at them. All those polished faces reflecting terror in high definition. They are waiting for you to speak, hoping your voice will betray fatigue, hoping for a human crack they can exploit. Give them nothing but truth, stripped of comfort. Tell them their time ended when they mistook compliance for loyalty. Tell them their authority dissolved the moment they measured it in applause instead of integrity. Tell them history isn't written by the victors anymore. It's written by whoever dares to stand still, while the crowd runs for cover. You can almost feel the moment they realize it, when the performance collapses and the actors forget their lines. That's when the real story begins. The lights are too bright now, the masks too heavy. They cannot maintain the illusion, and you will not dim the lights for their comfort. Let them stare into the glare. Let them see what their empire looks like without shadow. And as they flounder, trying to reconstruct the illusion of order, you move without noise. Not as a savior, not as a symbol, but as inevitability made flesh. You are what happens when truth refuses to wait for permission. The corridors that once echoed with their rehearsed confidence now feel smaller, narrower, filled with the sound of breath measured in fear. They still wear their suits, their rings, their titles, but the meanings have fled those costumes. You can see it in the way they look at one another, each wondering which of them will be first to admit that the empire they defended has already slipped through their hands. They think the crisis is temporary. They think the tremor can be managed. But a managed tremor is still an earthquake to those who built on sand. You did not bring fire. You only removed the illusion that the world was cold. Meetings multiply like weeds. They call them councils, briefings, strategies. What they really are is panic with an agenda. They speak of stability as though saying the word could resurrect it. Their pens tremble against the paper. Their smiles are brittle things, pasted over dread. Every idea sounds like an apology. You can sense it, the slow realization that they are no longer deciding. They are reacting. Reaction is the death of command. When leaders start reacting, the crowd starts thinking. And thinking is the contagion they cannot stop. You do not need to shout. Every time they whisper, "control," the air itself laughs. It began quietly, didn't it? A small decision, a refusal, something they dismissed as arrogance. They called you reckless for stepping past their lines. They didn't see that you had been counting the lines for years, studying how they crossed and recrossed until they formed a cage. You didn't kick the cage down. You just stopped believing it was real. That's all it takes. One person to act as though freedom is natural, and the bars melt like wax in a furnace. Now, they're rebuilding the cage, hammering at air, blaming each other for the missing walls. You walk past them and they lower their voices, not out of respect, but superstition. To them, you are proof that permission is an illusion. Watch them. They'll try to assign blame in the old way. Commissions, investigations, scapegoats. They'll say the crisis came from outside, from unseen enemies, from a flaw in the machinery. They will not admit it came from belief. Belief was their foundation, and you cracked it. Belief in the permanence of their privilege, belief that no one could rearrange the board without their consent. You rearranged it by breathing differently. The most terrifying act is not rebellion, it's composure in the face of collapse. You did not flinch. You stood still while the stage burned, and the calm was a mirror they couldn't bear to look into. The panic spreads downward. Their aides notice the tremor in the hand that signs decrees. The press senses hesitation and begins to circle. Merchants whisper that the market smells fear. People who once bowed their heads start to raise them, cautiously at first, then with curiosity, then with hunger. That's the moment they dread, when curiosity turns into imitation. They see others walking like you walk, talking like you talk, breathing as though air belongs to them. That is revolution, when behavior becomes contagious. They built a hierarchy out of distance. You erased distance by existing without apology. Now every corridor feels haunted. They speak your name as though it might summon you. And maybe it does. Because presence is not proximity. It's pressure. You are the pressure in the room they can't escape. They built their authority on invisibility. Those invisible rules, invisible deals, invisible chains. You made the invisible visible, and that light is unbearable. They call for decorum, but decorum is a dead language when fear is fluent. You see them fumbling for words, the way a drowning man claws for air. They think the right statement will fix it, but statements cannot fix revelation. Once people see the strings, the puppet show is comedy. And in that comedy, power dissolves. Watch how their gestures lose meaning. The same hands that once silenced crowds now tremble over microphones. The same voices that could dictate reality now stutter through denial. You don't even need to counter them. Their collapse is self-inflicted. They are learning that arrogance is flammable and truth is the match. You didn't set the fire. You simply refused to smother it. They will call you dangerous. They have to. To them, danger is anything that cannot be owned. They will paint you in moral colors, write your name beside words like instability and threat. Let them. Names are the final refuge of the frightened. They think labeling you is containment. But how do you contain an idea that walks, speaks, and dismantles in real time? You are not a rumor. You are a consequence that learned language. And every word you speak exposes another fracture in their illusion. Do you hear it? The sound beneath the speeches, the faint hum of something shifting. That's the world remembering its original rhythm, not the rhythm they imposed, measured and rehearsed, but the raw pulse that existed before hierarchy. They can't hear it yet. They're too busy drowning in their own noise. But the people can. They feel it in their bones, the sense that something impossible just became possible. That is why they keep looking at you as if you carry prophecy. You don't. You carry proof. Proof that power can be redefined. Proof that mercy was never a prerequisite for victory. Proof that the unthinkable only terrifies those who can't imagine. Their advisors whisper that it's temporary, that panic will fade, that the world will forget. But panic that comes from revelation never fades. It mutates. It becomes culture. It becomes memory. You're already becoming memory, and they know it. That's what keeps them awake. They can fight enemies. They cannot fight remembrance. This is the moment before they break. Their language has failed. Their scripts have burned. And their allies look at them with the quiet pity reserved for falling gods. They try to act unbothered, but desperation has a scent. It fills the air, clings to their expensive fabrics, leaks through their polished smiles. You stand in that scent like a judge made of stillness. No gavel, no robe, just presence. Presence that turns luxury into liability, confidence into confession. They begin to wonder what kind of creature you are, that you can stand inside their collapse and not flinch. They used to see crisis as a storm outside their windows. Now the storm has learned to speak with your voice. Every time they close their eyes, they see the shape of what you've done, the simplicity of it, the unbearable truth that all it took was clarity. They built fortresses out of complexity because confusion is the best defense for corruption. You tore through that fog with something painfully clean. Simplicity is the weapon they never prepared for. So they invent new meetings, crisis management, public assurance. They draft language that tastes of rust. You listen from a distance and it sounds like mourning dressed as bureaucracy. They think they are protecting themselves. They are documenting extinction. Because when a world ends, it does not explode. It documents itself to death. Each memorandum is a gravestone. Each policy, an epitaph written by trembling hands. They can sense it, though they won't admit it. The end doesn't arrive with fire. It arrives with paperwork that nobody believes. You move through their ruins with an ease that infuriates them. You don't celebrate. You don't apologize. You exist like truth itself, uninterested in approval. They mistake your calm for cruelty, but it is only clarity again. You do not need revenge. The collapse is revenge enough. They are busy performing survival while you practice freedom. Freedom doesn't ask, doesn't announce, doesn't explain. It simply is. And the simplicity of that unravels every argument they built to justify control. They will try one more thing, pity. They will call you tragic, misguided, a symptom of chaos. They will try to fold your defiance into their narrative of decline, as if they can still write history with you as character. But you are not a character, you are authorship. The pen no longer sits in their hands, and that emptiness terrifies them more than any rebellion. They have lost narrative control, and narrative is the bloodstream of power. Once it leaves the body stiffens. Look at them pacing those corridors. You can almost hear the sound of confidence cracking beneath the shoes of men who forgot how to stand on truth. They built palaces out of applause, and applause, once withdrawn, becomes silence, sharp enough to cut. Every moment now feels like exposure. They search for scapegoats, for traitors, for saboteurs, anything but reflection. But reflection is the mirror that never leaves. It follows them into sleep. They close their eyes and still see you standing there, the quiet proof that permission was a myth. And yet beneath all the ruin, something almost holy is taking shape. When lies collapse, space opens. In that space, new language is born, language without fear. You can hear it in the streets, whispered first, then spoken, then shouted. It isn't rebellion, it's recovery. Recovery from hypnosis, from the long infection of obedience. The people are remembering themselves. That's the real unthinkable act. You did not create their awakening. You reminded them it was possible. Now watch the powerful retreat into symbolism. Medals, flags, portraits. They surround themselves with objects that used to mean power. Objects can't save them. Meaning has migrated. Meaning belongs to motion now, and motion follows you. You have become gravity for those who crave authenticity. Every step you take recalibrates the room. They feel it, how reality bends when you enter. That's what terrifies them. Not destruction, but redefinition. They will try persuasion next. Offers wrapped in logic, deals dripping with false humility. They will call it compromise, but it will smell of containment. They will say, join us, help us restore order. But order built on panic is just panic wearing a uniform. You will smile, and they will interpret the smile as threat. Because only those who depend on fear are frightened by peace. You are the peace they cannot endure. The crisis is full now. It has no room for more denial. Their speeches collapse under their own grammar. Words refuse to obey them. That's what happens when language loses respect for its owners. You've turned communication into confrontation simply by being honest. And honesty, in their world, is treason. Let them write their condemnations. Let them fill their papers with cautionary tales. Each paragraph they craft is another monument to your effectiveness. They will claim to have survived you. They will mean they have been changed by you. Either way, you have rewritten them. You have redrawn what power looks like. Not a throne, but a mirror. You do not celebrate. Celebration is for those who think victory is final. You understand the deeper rhythm. Transformation has no applause, only continuation. So you keep moving, steady, deliberate, while they stagger through the aftermath. Their empire has become a museum, and they are curators of their own obsolescence. You are already beyond it, already building futures they cannot imagine. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of their awareness, they understand. They won't say it aloud, but they know the tables have turned, and mercy was never part of the deal. They feel the weight of their own making pressing down on them. The realization is slow, suffocating. You didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves the moment they mistook obedience for loyalty and control for wisdom. You simply stopped playing and the game ended. That is the unthinkable. Not the collapse of power, but the awakening of choice. They are left with rituals, and you are left with freedom. They will rebuild, yes, but rebuild from memory, not mastery. The crisis will become legend. The legend will become warning, and your name will linger like thunder after lightning. You will not need to speak it. The air will. And as you walk away from their trembling citadels, you understand what they never could. The true victory was never revenge. It was revelation. You revealed the machinery. You revealed the myth of permanence. You revealed that mercy, when shown to corruption, is cruelty to truth. You turned the tables, not out of rage, but out of recognition that justice sometimes arrives dressed in quiet. They are still there, counting losses, drafting reports, trying to name the shape of what hit them. But it's already over. The era that believed in them has ended. The next one speaks your language. And as the curtain falls on their performance, you do not bow. You simply fade into the new light, leaving them to their crisis, which has become their mirror, their punishment, their lesson. You walk away from the wreckage like someone leaving a theater after the final act, calm, unhurried, unconcerned with applause. The smoke behind you is not your burden. It is their confession rising into the air. What they called unthinkable has already become memory, and memory is mercy compared to the truth you left them with. The truth that power is borrowed, not owned, that arrogance ages faster than flesh, that mercy, when misplaced, is cruelty in disguise. You turn the tables not by rage, but by recognition, and recognition is irreversible. Now the rooms they once ruled echo with the sound of afterthoughts. Every portrait on their walls seems to look away. They try to resurrect control with new words, new counsels, new faces, but it all feels like theater performed for ghosts. The people who used to obey them now watch with detached amusement, the way one watches a magician repeat a trick after the secret's been revealed. Their crisis is not chaos, it is clarity, the clarity of knowing that the age of assumption is gone. They will spend years studying you, writing books to explain what you did, building museums around your defiance as if they could frame freedom and hang it on a wall. But freedom cannot be curated. It either breathes or it doesn't. You did not leave them ruins. You left them revelation. And revelation is a permanent scar. Every policy they draft will carry the tremor of your name. Every plan they make will be haunted by the possibility that someone else might stand as you did, unafraid, unapologetic, unstoppable. That is your legacy. Not destruction, but duplication. You multiplied courage in a world addicted to comfort. You reminded them that obedience was never virtue, her only habit. They mistook your calm for madness, your conviction for arrogance, your refusal for heresy. But now they see it. They see that mercy was never a request, it was a delay, and you ended the delay. There will be whispers of rebuilding, of reconciliation. Let them whisper. A rebuilding that does not include reflection is just decoration. They want to repaint the old empire, to scrub your fingerprints from the glass. But fingerprints are memory's favorite language, and your touch is everywhere. Every lock they change, every wall they patch, every new rule they invent will still smell faintly of you. Because you didn't just change the world, they can handle that. You changed what the world considers possible. And possibility is a contagion. It spreads faster than fear. They will study your moves the way priests study prophecy, hoping to find flaws, hoping to prove it was luck. But luck doesn't dismantle dynasties. Luck doesn't rewrite hierarchy. It was precision. Every pause, every silence, every decision executed with surgical cruelty. You knew where to press, where to pull, where to let them destroy themselves. That's the art they'll never understand, that sometimes mercy is the cruelest weapon. You let them live long enough to see themselves lose everything they built. Look at them now, tired, diminished, human again. The crowns they wore so easily now feel like burdens. The titles they cherished sound hollow when spoken aloud. You didn't strip them of dignity. You revealed that they never had it. Dignity cannot coexist with deceit. They're beginning to understand that. And it hurts. Oh, how it hurts them to realize that the power they worshipped was never theirs. It was borrowed from belief, and belief has shifted. You hold it now, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. In another age, they would have called you dangerous. In this one, they call you necessary. That's how deep the shift runs. You are not rebellion anymore. You are reference. They quote you without naming you. They copy your composure in crisis briefings, mimic your stillness in their debates, hoping some of your unbreakable presence might bleed into them. It won't. Presence cannot be performed. It can only be lived. You live it effortlessly because you paid for it in truth. The world outside their chambers moves differently now. People walk with straighter spines, speak with clearer voices. The air feels lighter, as if oppression had a physical weight, and you lifted it without ceremony. They see you sometimes, in flashes, at crossings, in reflections, in moments when courage is required, and they remember. Not your words, but the feeling you gave them, that fear is optional and permission is imaginary. That lesson will outlive every law they write. Soon they will vanish quietly. Power never dies loudly. It retreats, embarrassed. They'll retire to their estates, publish their memoirs, pretend it was all part of some grand transition. Let them. History isn't written in ink. It's written in effect. And the effect is irreversible. You've shifted the center of gravity. You've made obedience unfashionable. That's why they call you dangerous. Not because you destroyed their order, but because you made people question it. And once questions begin, authority bleeds. The unthinkable thing they said you did, it wasn't an act of war. It was an act of awareness. You exposed how fragile power becomes when confronted with someone who doesn't need it. That's the real horror for them. That you didn't want what they had. You wanted what they feared. Freedom. They could fight ambition, but they can't fight indifference. You didn't want their throne. You wanted your mind unchained. And now that you have it, everything they control looks small, childish, obsolete. You stand in the new light, not as a hero, not as a villain, but as proof. Proof that power collapses when faced with authenticity. Proof that fear dies when met with understanding. Proof that mercy, when withdrawn from the corrupt, becomes justice. They stare across the ashes, wondering how you did it, how you turned the tables without lifting a hand, without shouting, without mercy. And the answer is simple. You stopped playing. That's what terrifies them. That you didn't need vengeance, just distance. That you didn't fight them, you exposed them. That's the unthinkable, control undone by composure. And as they sit there, haunted by the echo of what was, you disappear into the future you created, not fleeing, not hiding, simply moving forward. Because the game is over and you have no interest in trophies. The curtain has fallen. Their applause will never come. But you don't need it. Their crisis is eternal now, replaying in every boardroom, every policy meeting, every conscience that sold itself cheap. You left them there, with their mirrors, their memories, their punishment, and you, unbothered, unbound, unforgettable, walk into the dawn of your own making.